What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? All right. So I finally listened to about 80%. Oh, how's Mr. Z doing his intro right now? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat and the hype button. There we go. Okay. I had to pause for a second. I almost forgot what the thing was called. All right. All right. Now we're in. We're in. And excuse my background in advance. We are in transit. Oh boy, three loud ass 350Z straight piped in front of me. Well, he's not in front of me. In front of me. Hopefully I don't make this light and he makes this light. That way we can not have to hear him for the rest of the trip. Okay. Um, so I finally got you, and I know this is a quick stream, and you know I don't have all the background stuff going on right now. The videos, we're probably not going to be playing too much of that tonight. This is kind of random stream. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. One, so I did listen to the Shay Sade and how did I already forget this young lady's name? But I did watch the interview with the former swirler. Okay, I mean, adopted, um, grew up around black and white folks, dated black and white men. If we take her at her word, didn't have any negative, you know, divester, neo-Nazi type of views of black men. Um, okay, she ended up with a white dude, had a kid, and it didn't work out because she started to look like she started to gain some consciousness, and she couldn't be with the white dude anymore. And I get it. I get it. Okay. Um, you know, huh? That's going to happen. We have to appreciate like that's going to happen. You know, when we raise our kids in these diverse environments, um, and you don't instill heavily a pro-black or black consciousness, they're going to intermingle with non-black folks, and some of their personal experiences will inform them about black folks, and sometimes it won't necessarily be positive. For this young lady, it's a little different, right? But you're gonna have that, especially if your kids are growing up in the burbs, especially if you're sending them to a certain type of school, right? Catholic school or whatever type of school, right? Yeah. So that's gonna happen. I to tell you the truth, there's not too much to say about that interview. There's not too much to say about that interview. At least the 80% or so, maybe 75% or so of it that I watched. Shout out to Shay Sade for asking the pertinent questions. Um, yeah. So it looks like the relationship lacked passion. Who she was married to with an Eastern European guy, if I'm not mistaken, right? I forget the countries, so I just remember Eastern Europe. Um, yeah, so I guess they had a whole dating. I don't want you to leave. Okay, well, I'm gonna kick out the country. Well, okay, let's get married so you can stay type of deal going on. Okay, the green card hustle. Okay, all right, right. I mean, there's not too much to say about this. Um, now how much of this is I I had my swirl fun and I'm ready to come back home? How much of it is that? That's a different kind of conversation, right? That's a different question. Um, with that, what I did find interesting though is the stories of the other black girls that were hanging around the white dudes and what they were allowing and what they thought was funny and the jokes that they were allowing, um, according to this young lady. So that I did find interesting. And yeah, right. So you're gonna have that. That's another thing you're going to have. You know, there are certain family members, friends, associates, they, for them not to call something racist, because this is the mind game that non-black folks play with them. Shout out to you, Myron. If you call out the anti-blackness, then you're weak, particularly for the boys, but even for the girls, black girls. You're weak, you're soft, you're snowflake, it's not that serious, you're race baiting, etc., etc. And so you'll find black people who let white folks get away with the anti-black talk, who let the Latinos and the Asians get away with the anti-black talk. Once again, shout out to you, Myron. And they will literally frame it like, yeah, I'm better than the other blacks. The other blacks are snowflakes. They're soft. They're so sensitive, right? And so that's the thing that I found interesting in the conversation is when she was mentioning, I want to say high school and in college, but I think she mentioned a couple of stories from college, um, that black girls were letting white folks slide with all type of racist talk, right? Like, appreciate, I mentioned this before. Y'all know I'm in South Florida. The cop, I want to say it was Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, it was Fort Lauderdale. The Fort Lauderdale cop, I want to say he might have been a white Latino white officer who was caught sending racist text messages to his co-workers. This is not surprising to any of us. With that, had a whole black girlfriend. I want to say she might have been Haitian descent, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But sending racist text messages to his co-workers, other police officers, and when the story broke, he want to come banding about with his black girlfriend, saying he not racist. That's not how racism works, sir. White men been piping black women and thinking the worst of black people. That's as old as America, older than America, quite frankly. Wait, so just because you having sex with a black woman, that means that you're anti, excuse me, that means that you're not anti-black? Since when? Right? So with that, what the young lady was mentioning, and somebody remind me of the young lady's name so I can actually say it. But what she was mentioning, yeah, Mr. Z is not at all surprised. Not at all surprised. No. Right. So yeah, that yeah. Another thing that was interesting to me was the story of her. Was the story of the white dude that she was having some bedroom fun with in college, and the that he got the itchy scratchy, and one of his white homeboys, white dudes, they started blaming her for it. Huh? Come to find out, he got it from some other white woman that he was messing with, right? So like this, look, black women, when y'all deal, I said it before, when y'all dealing with these non-black people, whatever they do to to the women of their group, they're gonna do to you, right? And quite frankly, because of anti-blackness in this society, they're gonna do it worse. It's gonna be worse because to them you're lesser, and you should be so honored. Shouldn't you be honored that he even looks your way? So it's gonna be worse. So yeah, they're joking about you and getting the itchy scratchy from you. Okay, right? I you know women don't really appreciate. You can't one up us really by piping someone else. The young lady said that, and it's crazy that we're in the 21st century and women still think, well, you cheat on me, so I'm gonna just cheat on you back, and that's supposed to burn. Okay, well, maybe the white dudes, but yeah, right? Nah, right? The black men I know, the black young men when I was a young man that I know would have just left you, and that would have been the end of it. Ain't no get back, right? I slept with your friend. Oh, okay, well, that's the end of us. All right, next. Right. So yeah, she recounted a story of payback. Some white dude she was dealing with, and I guess he cheated on her, so she cheated back, and yawn. Shout out to her. I didn't know that was still. I didn't know women still thought that was a one up, but okay, fine. Maybe it's just Z. Maybe it's just Z and some of the dudes I grew up with. But yeah, that ain't no one up. Thank you for letting me know who you are. And yeah, what? So once again, that I listened to the interview. It does put into mind, though, much of what you know. Not all of this swirler divester thing is going to be I hate black men. A lot of it, and as I've said before, is the idea that white men are better, right? That white men are simply better. And that may not even be necessarily a conscious thought all the time, if that makes sense. If you consider television, movies, advertisements, right? All type of print media, all type of visual, all everything. The white men are the guys. And so you're going to have black women, white women, obviously Latinas, Asian women, where that's what it is. And black men will act as the foil to that. And that's what black men have been throughout American history. The other side of that, for the good and bad of it all. Yeah, right. And to be frank with you, everyone thinks that black men are cheating the system. I want everybody to appreciate this. The Latinos, the Asians, the white dudes, especially the South Asians, the East Asians, and the white men. Oh, they're livid. You better believe they are livid because in their mind, black men are cheating. In the minds of black women, also, oops, black men are cheating. What do you mean by that, Z? Black men are cheating because you don't necessarily have to be a hyper provider to get some. This is where swag and whatnot works in black men's favor. And the big D stereotype works in black men's favor, right? The charismatic, cool guy works in black men's favor. And for many folks, non-black men and some women, it's not fair that black men get to air quotes cheat the system. No? And I'm not just speaking about some, triple X access with black women. I'm saying with non-black women also. Huh? So that's something that black men should consider also. Going back. So the interview to Z was not, I listened, I was hoping to hear something salacious, to be honest with you. And I was like, okay, but okay, cool beans, right? But it was a clip of, and I played it multiple times before on my channel, where the young lady did say, and this is something you could tell that she actually did see this, is when she said something along the lines of, you were waiting for a black man that whatever, and he came in a Versace shirt and let's say a fade, a Versace shirt, and 6'3" tall or whatever the hell, right? I'm adding extra, but something like that, and that didn't happen. So you ended up with regular white dude, and so in America that will be the default, right? That will be the default. That's something that we have to consider also. It's I want this type of black man, and if I can't get this type of black man, then any white man will do, right? So I just want to make mention of, yes, I did listen to the Shay Sade interview. About 80% of it, 75% of it, something along those lines. I'm gonna go back and listen to the rest, and okay, right? Um, Moving along. So apparently, the higher ups are going to be seeing if anyone is saying anything online, apparently, that's anti-CK. That's fascinating. Um, I thought these folks didn't believe in this snowflake type of behavior, right? And cancel culture and whatnot. I thought that's what they said. That's what they said. Yeah. Huh? It's also a bit jarring seeing the vultures come out, folks that he's worked with in the past, um, and everybody's vying for that space now, that vacuum that he left. It you know, for some of us who've had family members that passed, or you've heard stories from friends and co-workers and associates about, someone important passing, somebody, that passed in their life, and then all the vultures in the family come out trying to pick through their things and whatnot. And that's what this looks like, right? It's like we're privy to something that maybe we shouldn't necessarily be privy to, watching, you know, spouses that don't seem as distraught as at least Z would think they would be. Yeah, that's weird. We're gonna leave that on the table. Moving on. You know, associates and friends who are just, that same day, like, yeah, we're gonna pick up the mantle and keep on going in this direction, and just the opportunistic way of saying it just, it speaks volumes, right? So yeah, it says everything. So, watch it. All right, there we go. Yeah. So it's just, I nope, nope, no, you don't. Nope, thank you. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, so this passing says a lot. The way folks are moving, things that have been said. I have my own theories. Maybe I gotta start Patreon. I really do. Okay, so y'all got me now. I gotta start Patreon because there's certain things that you gotta say behind the wall. I see why you do it, BGS. I see why you do it, because Z's tinfoil hat is, but my tinfoil kufi do rag is nice and snug on my head right now, but things ain't adding up. Just the math ain't mathing. Hey, I'm like, wait a minute, but I don't know. I think if Z get a hole in the neck, I think Miss Z would be pretty damn distraught. She would definitely not be smiling, and Miss Z is definitely not going to be talking about the forgiveness and stuff like that. Definitely not on day 3, 4, and yeah, nah, we don't do that over here. Nope, 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 nope. Huh? So yeah, it's just things. The math ain't math, and this, we anyway, anyway. I got my. I have to start Patreon though, because the tinfoil kufi. My spidey senses are tingling. Everybody, something ain't right. Something ain't right. This smells. This smell. This is one of the worst smelling things I ever seen in my life. Ever smelt in my life. Oh man, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna leave that on the table. Next, okay. So I am checking out. Actually, I already listened to 2 segments of Glenn Greenwald interviewing Nick Fuentes. And okay, y'all playing footsies with white supremacists, bro. And you know, I'm and I understand the anger of Breonna Joy Gray, right? Especially with the Charlie Kirk thing. Me and her are aligned on that, which is the white liberals, some leftists too, to be fair. The way they're going about this only proves Malcolm's point about that goddamn fox. Everybody knows what Mr. Z is saying, right? So what I'm getting at with that is these folks are playing footsie with this white supremacist talk. And it's folks that Others may, Mr. Z not going to say me because not at all surprised, but many would probably not would not think would do that. Mr. Z getting all type of tongue tied, right? Y'all playing footsies with the white supremacists out here. So Glenn Greenwald interviewing Nick Fuentes, allowing Nick Fuentes to play softball with his anti-black views and racist views. And that's just fascinating to see, right? Like, dude has been so blatant, and you're framing it like he's this just tongue in cheek. What? Wait, what? Huh? I'm sorry, y'all. I looked down and Telescope says the tinfoil poo shiesty mask hysterical. Oh man, yeah, that's funny. No, I do for that situation. It just Telescope. Something's not adding up. It something's not adding up. I spoke to Ms. Z and younger sister Z about this, and I was like, they didn't backspace that boy. they hit the backspace button on him. I don't care what nobody say. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, something ain't right. Something ain't right. I don't care what nobody say. Something ain't right. That math ain't like hell. Right? We don't know anything yet. We know very little. Better yet, we know very little. But yeah, but they press the backspace button on him. I don't care what nobody say. That math ain't mathing, right? That math ain't mathing. That math is not mathing. Something ain't right, right? So something's not right. Something's not right. And yes, Mr. Z done seen all the other tinfoil theories. I've seen the videos. I've seen the hand signs. I've seen all of it. We just gonna leave that on the table. Moving along. But yeah, so the Glenn Greenwald playing footsie with Nick Fuentes and allowing Nick Fuentes to kind of play this kind of benign, kind of goofy, it's not that serious, he's not that serious kind of white supremacy talk. Yeah, about that. Huh? Yeah. Well, hey, I'm all for trolling. So, 443 BZ says all these mods means you're insecure. No, all these mods means that I like these people. That's what all the mods are for. That means I like these people. That means that they've been here for a while, right? That means that I've let them up on the panel and then they haven't tried to, flash something crazy on the screen. Yeah, that. So, yeah. About that, sir. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, so Better You says, hold up, who did what? Yeah, Glenn. Why can I say Glenn Greenwald's name? Glenn Greenwald interviewed Nick Fuentes on Greenwald's channel. If I could pronounce his name, that would be great. Yeah, so that just happened. And I've checked out 2 of the segments already, and y'all playing footsies with these dudes, man. I just do not like the era we're in. Something ain't right. Hey, the air is dense as hell right now. The air is so dense. Is it Z? Somebody tell me, is it Z? Right? Or do y'all feel that dense ass air too? Because something ain't right. Right? Or is it just Z? Maybe it's just Z. No? And I'm gonna read that comment in a minute. Give me a minute. That's what we're gonna do. We're going to Post right here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. Um, and Sardo says, when I called Pearl out on her telling lies like Floyd, and now debunked claim he put a a un blah 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 to a pregnant guy. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I get what you say. Yeah, she is mainly beneficiary of DEI. She deleted and blocked me. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are playing footsies with this stuff. You know, I want black people to appreciate something that we all know already. White folks might want to they might find you attractive and appealing and still think less of you, right? Still think less of you, right? So Pearl might have had a thing for MTR. Oh, I wasn't supposed to bring that back up, huh? And find him attractive and whatnot, and still think less of black people that don't, huh? Isn't this like part of American history? White women deep throwing black slong and then still thinking the less of black people, huh? We've been knowing about this, I don't know, forever. This is oldest American pie. Just enthusiastically want to be with you, then get out the bed with you, claim some type of harassment, and watch you be strange fruit. That's old as American pie. That's old. That's old news, huh? So there's that too. What else? It was something. Oh yeah. O'Shea finally calling Anton out a little bit, right? So this is recent. Um, and it's concerning the two white dudes that went to the Tennessee State for to I guess to antagonize, but they want to call it debate. First of all, they didn't have any paperwork to be on the premises, right? That's number one. Number two, especially after all of the threats that HBCUs were receiving. Number three, it's just like how oh, this is such a white dude thing. Oh, y'all are. Could we just admit that white men are the ultimate cowards? Ooh, you said that out loud, Z. Every single time elite white folks flick a finger, everyday white dudes turn around and look at black people like, "What you said?" Yeah, we said nothing. Go deal with the elite white dude that just flicked you off, cowards. Every time they feel a bit of economic pressure, every time things don't go their way, they look at black people like, "What you said?" Um, Minding my own business, sir. Every single time. Uh, so these guys go to Tennessee State for this debate, um, not sanctioned, right? Okay, fine, cool. Then turn around and Anton's covering it, and Anton, bruh, I get it. You making that good Fox News money now. You're a pundit now. Your channel is about to hit 1 million now. It's pretty damn close, right? That's cool, great, bro. Anton gave the most unenthusiastic. I'm so disappointed in the culture. First off, Anton, what? I want everyone to appreciate the although Anton might be approaching 1 million subscribers, Anton doesn't speak for Z. Definitely not on political matters. What's fascinating, and this is like I want white conservatives to appreciate this. Y'all could continue to put these outliers out there so that y'all could seem less racist. Yawn. Um, I want you to appreciate this does not move the needle whatsoever. And other folks from around the world who send their kids to go to school here, they know that y'all BSing. You do know that, right? You do realize that whatever Chinese kids are in the US that's gonna go back to China, they don't believe none of that crap y'all doing. Y'all do realize that, right? Y'all do realize the Indian kids that are in America don't believe none of that crap y'all do. Y'all do realize that, right? Huh? So y'all can prop up Anton as much as you want. The Antons of the world, the Hodge twins of the world, right? The Candace Owens of the world. Yawn. Huh? So Anton says he's disappointed in the culture because of folks walking around here in pajama pantses on campus. Have y'all ever been to a college campus before? White, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise? Huh? This is just a real interesting time we living in. I said it before. What's his name? Gavin McGinnis. Gavin McGinnis. The conversation years ago at this point, Candace Owens had with Gavin McGinnis and Cornell West. And Gavin McGinnis was convinced that 30 some odd, 40 some odd, I can't remember the number, but it was way more than 20% of black folks were going to vote for Trump. I want to say that was the 2020 election. And I just remember thinking to myself, but who's telling you that? You're hanging around Candace Owens way too much. How do you figure that? Huh? Like that's the thing with watching these things. You listen to these white folks talk who have these outlier black friends, particularly black conservative friends, and they start saying, yeah, black people are gonna say this, they're gonna do that. And like, but what? Who told you that? Where did you come to? How did you get to that conclusion? Huh? Anton saying he disappointed in the culture. But Anton, I watched the clip of you saying F the black community. Did I not watch you say that a couple months ago? Was it even a couple months? I just watched you say that. Are you part of the culture or aren't you? If you're not part of the culture, then do you get to say I'm disappointed in the culture? A culture you're saying you're not a part. I mean, you literally just said F the black community. Didn't is Mr. Z the only one that saw that? Am I the only one that saw that interview with Anton saying that? And I appreciate O'Shea saying, he has a black wife and a black daughter. Yo, he's defecating on HBCUs, bro. Like, this is why I say respectability politics is the gateway drug into some anti-black stuff. Mr. Z in real life is pretty damn respectable. With that, there are black folks that, by the way they speak, by the way they think of the world, you could tell they're taking this a little too far, way too far, a little too far, and they allow respectability to walk them right off the edge, right into some anti-black stuff. You think Anton don't see what's going on? Anton see what's going on. He's not gonna let it get in the way of the bag. And whatever black person get rolled over, or whatever group of black people get rolled over, so be it. Huh? Should have never been in the way. So I hear you, O'Shea. I hear you, Anton Black Wife, and Anton's doing right by his people. I see the brothers and the sisters that he rock with. I see him, in the conversations that he have. Shout out to Anton on that front. With that, so in other words, f all black people that's not attached to Anton. That's what we are. Two white dudes went out to Tennessee State campus to antagonize black kids, bro. It's that simple. They didn't have a permit or anything. They went up there to antagonize them, not to have a debate. They got what they wanted. And they did this as HBCUs were being threatened by random white folks. Once again, white folks, namely white dudes, they feel a moment of weakness or vulnerability, and they start looking at black folks like, "What you say again? What?" For any one of us who ever been around when a schizophrenic person or a person that's off their rocker, and you're passing by them, and what you said? Huh? So once again, I think the internet is skewing this way too far. Well, when Trump is no longer in office, let's see how many of y'all still back this type of politics and this type of rhetoric with a lack of charisma. Huh? When we didn't grow up with rappers and other entertainers making reference to Donald Trump or to the next person, right? I can understand the Donald Trump effect. Yeah, we've been hearing about Donald Trump since the goddamn 70s, right? Rappers didn't mention him. He done been on television for how long? Okay, cool. I'ma love to see what y'all support after this. Huh? When the next person come about and they lack the charisma, we haven't been hearing about them for 30, 40, 50 years. They don't have a cult like following. I'ma love to see how y'all big up that next person. That's gonna be fun. So I hear you, O'Shea, but yawn. And Kunguru says Anton doesn't consider himself black, so he can't speak for me or black issues either. I don't know if Anton doesn't consider himself black. I don't recall ever hearing him saying that. I do think, and you've seen this throughout, you know, black history, especially recent history, pretty much coming out the 50s and 60s. These black folks that they get a couple of dollars and their politics is different than the masses of black people. And they start doing the I'm above that black stuff talk. Now, I do think Anton's on that. Even though he engages in conversation about relationships between black men and black women. Right? But you definitely have these black folks that do the whole I'm above that, right? Huh? I'm OJ, exactly. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay, yeah. Huh? Exactly. uh, you know what's crazy, Kirby? I didn't even see that you put that there. I'm OJ, Anton Daniels, exactly. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I did not know that. And Kunguru says he said that, bro. Did he? Did he really? Oh wow. Did not know that. Huh? Oh man, KW Don. Do I gotta read that? I gotta read it. I gotta read it. And KW Don says Ringo TV, Angry Man, and Anton are all soft shoe cooning. I had to read it. God damn it, KW Don. After the CK debacle, this will not end well for them. The Ritz people Uh-huh. Always break their tools. Yeah. Huh, I don't want us to get stuck in time. Stuck in this time. The pendulum's gonna swing. It I'm trying to see how it's gonna swing. Mr. Z trying to pull out the crystal ball and start seeing how it's going, how this pendulum gonna swing, because it is a full. If you don't know, there's a full on battle in the left right now, right? Um, at mm, at its least extreme, you get a second type of Bill Clinton's third way, which is just another Republican light, right? So every time the Republicans put a foot to ass on the Democrats start doing the whole, well, maybe if we're more like the Republicans, i.e., Clinton. And then obviously you have the more further to the left AOCs, um, definitely the Breonna Joy Grays, who said, screw that, pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal, right? And so there's a bit of a back and forth between them right now. The reason why I bring that up with this is, with what KW Don is saying, is to say the pendulum is going to swing. And I'm going to love to see how these people react to maybe not a Supreme Court, that's gone for a generation, but to a House, Senate, and White House that's all Democrat. Maybe not really too far to the left, but that's all Democrat. I'm going to love to see, because especially for Anton, it's paying right now, right? And I appreciate Angry Man and why he's on the type of time he's on, right? I was part of the panel where he was barking at BGS, because he just couldn't accept that Trump lost 2020 election, right? So I was there for that. Um, you know, these folks, I don't do they appreciate, like, time is forever moving? Damn, the song just popped into my mind. Time keeps on ticking. Anyway, yeah. So, do they appreciate that? It's not a permanent victory. Do y'all appreciate this is not a permanent victory? Now, there are certain precedents that have been set that I do think are pretty damn permanent. But this is not a permanent victory. I mean, if we continue to have elections in the U.S., it's not. Uh-oh. We're going to leave that one. With that, I agree with you, KW. I don't think this ends well. I think the air is too damn tense in the U.S. right now. The temperature is too hot. We gonna have to turn this down a few notches. People are way too comfortable with the insane talk, and I used to say this all the time. I need to start bringing this back. People are in their echo chambers online, regurgitating the same foolishness to each other and hyping each other up. Huh? The temper. It is a travesty that we don't have leadership currently in the U.S. that appreciate that the air is way too dense. And I don't know why Mr. Z was saying tense earlier. I don't know why I was saying that. Anyway, the air is way too dense and the temperature is way too hot. This is the time when you're supposed to have a leader that says, okay, wait a minute, let's slow up. Okay, we're doing too much right now. We're doing too much. Huh? So, bro, I heard that Stephen Miller speech he gave after CK passed, and then one of you guys sent me a former WS. I'm gonna just say it. Screw it. Former white supremacist lady talking about talking about it, and breaking it down, and so kind of filling in some of the blanks that I didn't understand previously. And once again, because I could tell once he started mentioning ancient Greece and Philadelphia and whatnot, I'm like, oh, I know where we at. I definitely know where we are now, right? So I want Anton and Angry Man to appreciate that's what y'all messing with right now. Screw whatever little pet project y'all got going on. That's what y'all. That is what you're co-signing. Stephen Miller's speech, huh? You don't got to hear nothing else about that goddamn memorial. Stephen Miller's speech tell you everything you need to know. That's why y'all have seen Mr. Z has kept a few names in his mouth, pause, concerning that administration. Vivek, Stephen Miller, JD Vance, huh? Yeah, look, man, these people. I hope Angry Man and Anton know what they're doing. Both of them are older than me. Both of them are far more successful than Z is. I need people to be careful with their agendas and what y'all believe in. All right. Huh? Are you sure about that? I'll end that part of this conversation with that. Are you sure about that? All right. Last thing, I'm not. By the way, I'm not giving no I didn't know passes. I want to say this now. I want to put it on the record. I'm not giving no I didn't know or what happened. No, that's not the same thing. I believe that's not why I'm over here. No, no, I'm not giving no passes. So whatever pop off, I don't want to hear nothing from none of these cats about what they didn't know, or that's not what they signed up for, or they disagree with this, or I don't want to hear none of it. I'm putting that on the record now. All right, Mr. Z got a tiny ass channel. I'm a nobody. But this nobody says, I don't want to hear it. You don't get no passes. Mr. Z letting it be known now where y'all are and who you're co-signing. I'm not co-signing that. Yes, you are. So, and KW Don, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Waffle says, did O'Shea really mention Anton having a black wife and kid? Like that matters? So having a black family is a get out of jail, not get out of jail. I used to get out of coon jail card. This is reverse depolicing. You know, yeah, it's well, at least he has a black wife. Unlike I guess Tate. I guess it's unlike Tate and unlike the Hodge twins. At least he has a black wife. And I hear O'Shea. I get it, especially O'Shea coming from the pro black space and he's on the continent. I get it. I I see what he's saying, and apparently he's had he has a friendly relationship with Anton. I get it, bruh. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. Huh? I see Anton with the y'all want to say Z range bait. Shout out to Louis with the thumbnails. Man, I see Ed. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. Shout out to Anton. I don't have the time. I don't have the resources, and I don't have the network. Shout out to all of you for your assistance. The emails, I'm getting y'all emails, by the way. I'm getting all of your emails, right? I see the TikTok videos y'all send me. Shout out to Black Uru. Shout out to Leon. I see the Instagram videos y'all send me. Shout out to Vince. I see them. Shout out to Saint Cyr. Shout out to all of you. I'm getting y'all emails, right? I just don't have the time. That's the only reason I'm not on so many people on their bumper, right? That's the only reason I'm not on so many people's bumper. This is you don't got the time. I'm trying, right? So yes, it O'Shea did bring that up, and I'm like, wait, what? What about the way he's been speaking for the past 9 months? Now 10 months, huh? Anton, you being real reckless, bro. I know you're making some good money. I know you've been on Fox. I get it. You got to go to DC and party it up with the days with the folks, right? I hear you. Shout out to you. With that, I get it. Your politics are not aligned with the masses of black folks. Okay, cool. You come from a family full of married folks. Cool, right? You have a black wife, Mr. Z is engaged to a black woman. Cool. Black daughter. Cool, right? Watching Anton poo poo HBCUs, watching him pull the respectability card, watching him pretend like them white dudes weren't there to antagonize the black kids after HBCUs were threatened and after CK's passing. Yeah, bro. Like watching you minimize that. Come on now. All of y'all playing a very dangerous game. Candace Owens already let us know what it is. Amazing Lucas already let us know what it is. I don't gotta wait for Officer Tatum. I said it before. Officer Tatum was barking on that other brother. He would never do that for Nick. When it came time to critique Nick Fuentes, he got real meek and mild. Big ass Officer Tatum, scared of the 27-year-old Nick Fuentes. You got your voice got real meek and mild when it came time to critique Nick Fuentes. Come on now. We all know what it is, man. Candace Owens straight up told you she was encouraged to talk greasy about black folks. She straight up told you that. When she was talking about Turning Point, right? No, not Turning Point. Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. Huh? I'm not saying that somebody is literally stuffing money in the back pocket of Anton saying, you gonna say this, boy. I'm not saying that. But he knows. We all know. Every person of I'm not even gonna limit it to just black people. Every person of color in America know what they gotta say or what they have to do when they're in certain spaces. We all know. Huh? So Anton know what it is. Anton gave one of the most unenthusiastic. I'm so disappointed in the culture. When he said that, I'm like, okay, bro, okay, I get it now. Okay, you just feeding whatever white folks might be listening into you, your conservative fans, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise. That was one of the most unenthusiastic Anton of all people. I'm so disappointed in the culture. Bro, that don't even sound like you. Okay, bro. Okay. Look, Zeno got 1 million subscribers. Right? Z need to come up with a new plan. I need to start selling y'all out. I'm over here trying to keep it real and struggling. Man, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Jesus. Something about that mirror, y'all. And something about that mirror. I can't do it. But yeah, I'm waffles. Yeah, you heard right. Yeah, O'Shea really did bring up Anton having a black wife and kids. Like, okay, he got a black wife and kids. Look how Anton has been speaking over the past 9 months, 10 months. Not even the way Anton been speaking since the election, since November. I see y'all right now. I see what road y'all on. Shout out to you. Shout out to Angry Man. Shout out to the Hodge twins. Yo, and a bunch of people on the Hodge twins bumper right now. Oh, people ain't really get on Anton like that.
in my estimation. Not yet, anyway. But Anton's good at not going extreme. Anton, and this is one thing I'll give Anton. Anton's not going to go too far. He's not going to let himself be the Hodge twins. Anton going to stay in that same two-step he's in right now. The Hodge twins, oh, a lot of people on their bumper, and it's not just black people. Huh? So, yeah. Yeah, I get why O'Shea said that. Yeah, black wife and kids. So we at least he's still, for the black community, and he hires black people, and he does. He does. Right? But yawn, ain't nobody trying to hear that, O'Shea. Right? And Eric Denman says, Z, I highly doubt that Angry Man or Anton know that Gal Stephen Miller is really about. Yeah, if they don't know, and they don't know, like he's around the president more than anyone else. He's the lead staffer. He's the one. If you don't, for all of you who haven't heard it, prepare thyselves. Just Google his conversation. I mean, not his conversation. Sorry, his speech at CK's memorial. Just listen to it and tell me we don't got a damn problem. Huh? That is a pro. I just want you to appreciate, Anton, this is what you are backing. I need you to understand he's the chief of staff, right? I need you to appreciate that's what you're backing. I need y'all to listen to him, listen to his delivery. His word choice and his delivery will tell you it will really let you know what y'all dealing with right now. Because I think everybody playing patty cake with Trump right now. It's to Z, it's not Trump. Trump is a problem. Don't get it twisted. I'm not minimizing him. It's everyone around Trump. It's like, God damn, who orchestrated this? Huh? From Peter Thiel to Elon Musk to Alex Karp to Stephen Miller to JD Vance. It's like Mark Andreessen. You're like, what the? Who put this together? What? Man, all right. Y'all keep playing around. Huh? And Big Mo says, when Anton speaks, I hear Uncle Ruckus theme hysterical. I, you know, I will say this. Anton looks like he looks out for his team. I will say that. I will say Anton looks out for his team. I actually do think he's a thoughtful person. That's what makes the way he's going about this thing so egregious, right? Anton look like he looks out for his team, and I think he's a thoughtful. The brother doesn't come off the dome with some of the things that he says concerning black relationships, black marriage, um, the black community, without being thoughtful. No, the issue is that Anton chose his lane, and he gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. And I understand, right? I get it. So he tap dancing. I hear him, and we have to appreciate too that there are folks that they will hear the critique from Z, and they will say, "Excuse my language, everyone. We late night, so I gotta say it the way I gotta say it. Nigga, ain't nobody care what you talking about. I'm out here getting it. Why do I care what a faceless dude with 3,000 subscribers got to say on YouTube? Huh? There are those folks. There are folks that they cannot hear a critique from someone they think is lesser than them, particularly a black person, right? Yikes. So, yeah, Big Mo. You see here the Uncle Ruckus theme. I don't. Yeah, I think Anton knows exactly what he's doing. I don't know if I hear the Uncle Ruckus theme with him though. I'm not saying he's not tap dancing, and we have to appreciate there are black folks that's gonna look at us and be like, why would I ever care what you think? I'm getting chipped off, and let's be clear. Anton has black supporters. He have black folks that agree with him, right? So I'm really careful with the culture war stuff, y'all. Y'all see how I critique black women and their behavior, but there's a line I won't cross. I'm not gonna go into anti-black territory to critique black women and their behavior, or to critique other black men. And there are black people that they take this way. They. I'm not even gonna say they way off the reservation. Forget off the reservation. As I say about the women, they fly right off the edge of the cliff. Right? For Anton to bring up the pajamas and what the kids were wearing at school, have you ever been to a college campus? Period. Not just the HBCU, any college campus. Y'all letting this respectability thing get y'all way too far into anti-blackness. Way too far into. And once again, Big Mo, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Kanguru says, who is Miller dedicating that diss track to? Quite frankly, I think to us. I think to all. I heard him speak, and all I saw was the movie 300. All I heard was a neo-Nazi screed up there. Huh? What have you built? Nothing. Huh? And we are the children. Oh no, he didn't say we. He was talking about Erica CK's wife. It's like she. No, yeah, he did say something like we are the descendants or the children of such and such, and our history goes back. And once he went to Greece, I was like, oh yeah, yep. We are officially in neo-Nazi land. If we weren't there before, we definitely there now. We were there before, but if we weren't there before, we definitely there now. Who is he dedicating that diss track to? Us, including Anton, huh? Including the Hodge twins, including Tatum. Who is he dedicating that diss track to? Everyone that doesn't look like him, huh? You better stop playing with these people. Look, it's not a joke. Mr. Z's giggling, but it's not a joke. When you hear him talk, you're like, oh, no wonder anyone that wasn't looking at him sideways before, if you didn't get it before, once you heard Stephen Miller talk, you like, oh, and that's the chief of staff? Wait, what? Yep, you heard right. Right. That's real. Right. And Congruent, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Eric Devon says, all money ain't good money. A lesson he'll learn. From Anton, I don't know. I don't know. I struggle with the idea of like the Negro wake up call or um you're gonna get yours or like I to be frank with you, that I think I've seen too many people that were horrible people pass peacefully. And I'm not saying that Anton's a horrible person. I'm not going there with it. I'm not putting a claim on his life. But I will say, yes, all money ain't good money. Will Anton learn? There's a possibility that Anton stack his chips, he do his YouTube thing, he waits for the time to transition into something different, or he continues on this, but kind of, softens it up a little bit, and he just keeps on living and making his coin on YouTube, and nothing happens, right? So Charles said, I've been wary of Stephen Goebbels since 2016, bro. The dude is a freaking menace. And Saint Cyr says Stephen Goebbels is hysterical, bro, isn't it? But yeah, Eric, I I don't know if he'll learn. And like when you say he'll learn, what does that mean? What do you mean by he'll learn? Because I don't know. I don't wish the worst for Anton. I wish he would stop with this crap, but maybe not. You making tens of thousands of views per video. You got multiple channels. You're traveling around the country. You're Anton living the life, right? About to send your daughter away to school in a year or two, if I'm not mistaken. Anton's living the life. Maybe he doesn't learn, right? Will it tug at his soul? Will Anton see something every once in a while that reminds him, or will he see a George Floyd situation and it mess with him a little bit? Maybe. Will he let us know about that? Probably not, right? Anton making good money. That what's the quote again? It's difficult to get a man to believe some. It's difficult to get a man to believe something, especially when his paycheck is dependent on him not believing it. Something like that. I'm butchering the quote, but Anton and a number of black folks, and I'm not just going on the black right, because the black left, there's a number of these folks, huh? There's a number of these folks. You listen to them talking, you're like, but there's no way you're talking about the everyday black person, or you're representing. Who are you talking about, or who are you talking to, or who are you trying to represent, or you just talking and you're being paid, or you're being supported at least because you're saying what others don't want to say, like the Myrons of the world. And I'm not Myron and Anton are two different people. Like Anton's a black man. Myron's whew, right. With that, edgy culture is with the right now. The edge lord, edgy code. Now, are they funny? Nah. No, not at all. They're still corny. They're still corny. Because for them, being edgy is being offensive. And so it just comes off antagonistic and mean spirited and boring, right? So they still don't have that yet. They're still, yeah, it's they still don't have the cool factor and the fun factor yet. But they do have the edge culture is on their side. That they do have. Um and so will Anton learn? Eh, maybe he just, sells out in the sunset with a pocket full of YouTube checks, right? And when he goes, traveling around the country with on tour with what he does with the relationship stuff, and you know, man is successful right now. He killing it. And from my understanding, Anton invested in small businesses. Yeah, maybe not, maybe not, right? And Eric, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Let me see. Wait a minute, I'm just reading some of you guys' comments. That's hysterical. And Spademan says they not like us. White supremacist remix. That's funny. That's hysterical. And Eric says Stephen Miller's ancestors ain't come out no damn Greece. More like ghettos of Central Europe. Probably. I'm not gonna doubt you on that. And even if they did come out of Greece, nobody cared, bro. As a fellow bald head man, nobody cared what your bald head ass saying. Weirdo. I, this is why I did the stream a few months ago that said, "Is this the Revenge of the Nerds?" It's a bunch of weirdos, antisocial megalomaniacs in the White House right now. It's just a bunch of weirdo megalomaniac, sci-fi junkie weirdos. I could, if I had enough time, I could come up with a whole list of just word after word after word. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna just leave that. But yeah, these people are weirdos. All right. Exactly. And Dwayne says, Mr. Z, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat and the hype button. And Dwayne says, Z, Stephen Miller was in some blood and soil type ish in that speech, bro. It was egregious. And like I genuinely am weirded out by how far we are with this type of talk right now. Right? Like you're 100% right, Dwayne. The fact that this type of talk is getting a pass is insane. And outside of some of us who might occupy some type of left, and definitely black folks, nobody's making a big hurrah about his speech. And that is some of the off-putting problem. Like, y'all do realize like what he's saying and what this also means for the Overton window. This doesn't just stop at rhetoric. Y'all playing with fire. This doesn't stop at rhetoric, right? Man. So yeah, Dwayne, he was definitely on some blood and soil stuff. People playing around. People playing around with this, right? Yikes. And Derek says, Cashapp Michelle disappeared, did she? Eric Adams is failing now. Sean Combs. I'm a little lost on what you're saying. I know Eric Adams dropped out the race, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I don't get the Chrisette Michelle connection. I know she performed for Trump back when he won back when that was 2016 or whatnot. I know she performed for him back then. Well, when he got an argument in 2017. I remember there was a big hoopla and like y'all really hurt her career. Um, but yeah, I'm a little lost on the connection. Other than that, did she actually really disappear? Um, yeah. Damn it, I'm waffles. I gotta read this. And I'm Waffle says, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Myron's Gizze for pay. Look, we all didn't see the picture of him under the covers. Bruh. Do I think Myron is really out here being the bottom for some white top? No, probably not. With that, when he does the whole concentration face, when he tried to imitate Ben Shapiro's face, um, all of these folks now go to college campuses to do the debate me, bro, stuff. It's yawn. It's corny to Z. Um, I think y'all should be debating professors if you really want to call it. I think y'all should be debating professors so we could see you get your head taken off. Yeah. Debating 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds, yawn. Being little antagonistic assholes on a college campus, yawn. So Myron and what he's doing right now, I guess this is Myron's way of making up for him burning every goddamn opportunity. Myron, I want you to appreciate y'all could have been so much more successful. You in specific, your antics are the reason why Fresh and Fit isn't known way more than you guys could be, um, and why you guys aren't making the type of money y'all could have been making. You in specific and your antics. Yeah. And shout out to all of you people of color raising your kids not to appreciate race, not to appreciate ethnicity, not to appreciate the hierarchy, power dynamics in America. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the ones who raised these little Myrons. Huh? All you people of color in America who keep on minimizing white supremacy like that's some excuse black Americans are coming up with. All right, go ahead and raise you a damn Myron. Huh? It's fascinating watching these folks who appreciate systems. Once we start talking about that little slice of Europe in the Middle East, they understand systems, they understand how lobbying works, they understand how these politicians are in the back pockets of these folks, they understand all of that. But the second we start talking about black people, then they start getting into the racist anti-black bag. Ain't that right, Myron? You can't mention the small hats without Myron damn there his eyes start blinking real hard and twitching and huh? Oh, he understands everything. All of a sudden, he understands systems now. Huh? He understands how people can be sabotaged now. Once we start talking about the small hats, Myron get it perfectly. Once you start talking about black people, yeah, shut your lame ass up. Man, Myron's another one. Huh? Myron's another one. Man, when the white dude checked him and said, you know, if we run the country, you wouldn't be here neither. Myron was genuinely offended that the white dude. Are you dumb or are you slow? Oh, I know. I'm gonna go rub elbows with the white dude. Wait a minute. What is that? What are you doing with that rope? Stupid ass. Oh, they're slow, y'all. They're slow. No, it's worse. Z. They know exactly what they're doing. True. And I'm Muffles. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Vincent, boys being boys, Abba voice. Yo, I've been preaching. Look, I've been preach stood on their necks, bro. Abba and Preach stood on their necks, particularly Myron. I called it. Anybody that remember, Mr. Z called it years ago when they first started beefing. I called it from the jump. Abba and Preach gonna take their head off. Myron, you're not talented enough. You're not smart enough. I'ma just call it what it. I'm sorry to say it, Myron. I know Abba's. Before we even get to, you can't beat Preach. You ain't gonna beat Abba. They're smarter than you, bro. if we're gonna be frank, shout out to you and what you have going on with the women when you bring them on. But bro, you regurgitated a bunch of Rolo Tomasi stuff, Kevin Samuel stuff, huh? You were up there reciting all the best hits of white manosphere and black manosphere stuff going back really a couple decades. Not a couple decades, about a decade. Yeah, about that. If we're gonna call a thing, Myra's just not talented enough. And this is coming from a community college dropout. Myron, you're not talented enough. So of course, every time you and Abba go back and forth, he take your head off. How he's smarter than you and funnier than you at the same time. And Walter don't got nothing for preach, so I'm not even gonna mention that. I'm just gonna keep it between Abba and Myron. I'm not even gonna mention preach and Walter. That's not stop. That's not even a real conversation. Myron don't got nothing for Abba. So yeah, Abba got him with the boys being boys. Yeah, you gonna lose that every time. You're not smart enough and you're not talented enough. It's that simple. Shout out to you debating in college. I know you I know you be on them college campuses for hours on end and you can only show us 2 or 3 debates, because I know you be getting your head taken off by 19-year-olds. I bet you if we start going to them forums or we start researching, it's gonna be a bunch of 19-year-olds saying, hey, he didn't I debated him, I took his head off. He didn't record that, he didn't post that online. I know it's happening. It was happening with CK, so I know it's happening with you. And once again, Vince, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? And Black Guru says, I think Fresh and Fit capped out at their talent and charisma level. Of anything, they exceeded it. Those dudes are not, they're not yawn. And like, this is not even formed by hate. Simply put, there's a lot of people I don't like, but I can at least acknowledge that they're a problem and they're talented. That's one of Mr. Z's problems with Nick Fuentes. He's a problem. He actually gets it. Huh? That's why y'all hear Mr. Z bring up Stephen Miller. He's a problem. He knows exactly the buttons to press, and he started harkening back because white men in particular are missing something. They feel like they're missing something, and so when he's up there, he's harkening back to Greece and Philadelphia and all of this stuff. I'm like, I see what you're doing, huh? So it's not even coming from a place at a hatred of Fresh and Fit or Myron in specific. I really mean that, bro. You ain't talented enough. And the charisma thing, I never looked at neither one of them as charismatic. They're not. Uh, I never looked at the Walter be stuttering, so there's that. You're out the window. And Myron's not Myron. Myron give me those white dudes who you meet who are successful and they making money. And like, if the women are around them, they're around them because they're making money. It's not because of any other. They're not charismatic. They're not funny. They're not particularly interesting or intellectual. Like he's none of that. There is no draw. It's just the success, the money part of it all. Right? I could say what I want to say about Anton, but you can see a knowledge base there that like and Anton's coming off the dome. He's freestyling this. He's not just reciting something that he read in a book, right? There's some wisdom there. As much as I might disagree with him, there's some wisdom there. You don't get none of that from Myron. So yeah, I'm gonna wipe the floor with him every time. Every time y'all go ahead of me, he gonna take your head off. And Terrell says, and thank you for the super chat. Anton is like a prosperity Christian convinced that accumulation of wealth proves his beliefs. Never mind his confidence in White's competency. Ooh, Trell. There is a whole conversation to be had, and I'm way too poor to have it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um, there is a whole conversation to be had about the accumulation of wealth proving someone's point. Ooh, bro, Trell, you done touched the third rail on the pause. The third rail of there are a lot of us, and this is definitely not a black thing, but acutely a black thing concerning the black community when it comes to black people on black people, right? Where I got more money than you, so I'm right. Like me, be me. We don't even got to be talking about this thing that I accumulate my wealth doing, right? I could be into tech, but we talk about cars, and I got more money than you, so I'm right. Huh? And like that is, ooh, you know, you saw this with Kanye. Actually, the "you don't got the answer" sway. If y'all recall, he went on a he was doing interviews. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did like 3, 4 interviews that day, maybe two, because he did the Breakfast Club that day. I think they aired them at different times, but if I'm not mistaken, he did the Breakfast Club interview that day, and then he did Sway in the morning. It might have been the other way around, but I think it was probably Breakfast Club first. And he kind of spoke to exactly what you're saying right here, Terrell, which is like we we can't have poor righteous teachers anymore. The kids ain't trying to hear from the poor man anymore, right? So speaking of what you're saying here, Terrell, which is like I have to I have to have these things. I have to show these things. I have to be flashy so that people can pay attention enough. But actually, what you're saying is the flash means you're right. The money means you're right. You're on the right side of history in your assessment of right and wrong, maybe even good and evil. Ooh, your assessment of that is correct because of your wealth. And that's a scary thought, particularly for black folks, right? Because I don't know if we can't. I don't know if we can afford I make more than you, therefore I'm right. And I will say this on Anton's channel, when he has the panels up, he doesn't give that. I will say that. He doesn't give that concerning when we're talking about more relationship, intimate relationship thing, black man, black woman stuff. But when it comes to political politics, yeah, Trell, I think you're right about that. Yeah. Yep, I think you're right. Right? There is an air of superiority that he has concerning this stuff, politics, that he doesn't necessarily show on his chat on his panel discussions, right? So I yeah, I think you're right about that part, and definitely the his confidence in white competency. His guy's in the White House right now, and so I do think there is. there are a lot of people who I think are going to be seriously deflated, if not in the next 3 years and some change, definitely in the next 8 years and, or better yet, 7 years and some change. More than likely. Um, there, it's not a permanent victory, and I think a bunch of folks are beside themselves right now with the way they're speaking. Right, and I would be careful with that, especially as a black person hitching your wagon to these folks and what they're saying. It's like, you're too invested. You're too invested, right? Like y'all know Mr. Z's politics. With that, I have major critiques. I'm not so invested in any particular politician on the left that it, number one, turns me anti-black. Number two, blinds me. Right? Maybe because I haven't been invited to the White House. Maybe because I'm not on. I mean, if he was on Fox, so what would be the equivalent? It wouldn't be MSNBC. They don't exist anymore. I need to stop saying that. What leftist channel? TYT? Nope. They're not left like that, like that, like that. What leftist? Goddamn. CNN? Okay, we'll just go with CNN. Yeah, maybe because I haven't been invited on to CNN, right? So maybe that's the difference, bro. Maybe that's why I'm not. I don't have this blind following, or I'm not so blindly supporting and confident in these folks. Ah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with this. Yeah, yeah. And Black Guru says, and Myron fundamentally does not like women. That's a limitation he cannot surmount. Yeah, I agree. Myron gives me the dude in high school that was mad. He is the Revenge of the Nerds. Myron is the one that was sitting in the corner, drooling over whatever chick it was, black chick, white chick, Latina, probably white or Latina, and like not getting no play. He does give me. It's funny because that's what we get painted with, and it's like, nah, we're not him. That's who you're talking about, right? Myron definitely gives me in the corner, looking at the jog passing by with the cheerleader. They're like, "What damn, get damn, right?" So yeah, no, I agree with Black Guru on that. I agree with that. Yeah, he does not like women. Ooh, and we know that. Ooh, that Passport OG. Well, you Passport OG was stabbing people in the heart all the way from Japan. And Passport OG says Myron has never had a girl be smitten with him. Dude is an actual incel. Look, man, I told y'all about the story. I said it already. I'll say it again. One of the most heartbreaking things Mr. Z ever saw was looking at a white dude, looking at a white woman, looking at a brother, and she was damn near drooling on the brother. And I was looking at the white dude, looking at her, and you could see it on his face. I've never experienced that, and I don't think I ever will. And that was one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen, ever. Right? And like like you've never experienced that before. You've never been lusted after, huh? Ah, to not be to not have ever been lusted after, to not like, yeah. I told y'all earlier, for a lot of folks, the problem they have with black men is that we're cheating the system. In their mind, we're cheating the system. Where you, as a black man, between the big D stereotype, between the stereotype about the gift of gab and the charisma and the swag, they feel like you're cheating the system. And so for Myron to have never been on the receiving end of cheating the system, ah, yeah, man. That once again, these are assumptions. With that, I'm pretty sure he really hasn't. I think you're right, Passport OG. I think he probably never has experienced that, and that's sad. That's true. Passport OG says if you ever had a girl be smitten with you, you can't hate women. Yeah, yeah. I gotta agree. I gotta agree. I gotta agree. Spademan. Spademan says the black guy in the movie that had no major speaking part. Ah, that's Myron. Huh? Oh man. Spademan says he was the token sidekick to the cool white guy. Oh, y'all killing me right now. Hysterical. Oh man, that's funny. And Black Guru says black men basing their word and ethics on money is crazy in a country where all Negroes together have less than 3% of the nation's wealth. You're basically handing black folks over to the enemies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've been doing more and more research. Apparently, average income in the US, I said this the other day. Average income in the US is like 64,000 and median is 43,000. Yeah, yeah, Black was right. By the way, that's not considering race. That's not. Hey, it's getting real ugly. I think when they said 800, I think Tone mentioned it a couple months ago. 800 of the wealthiest Americans have the same wealth, or was it? Or was it Jason Black? Those are two people I shouldn't be mistaken for one another. But still, one of them mentioned that 800 of the wealthiest Americans have the same wealth as all 43 million ish black people. Yeah. So yeah, Black Guru got a point there. Black Guru got a point there. Right. I don't think those folks are thinking that far. Right. Compassion said mine was a nameless henchman. And Dwayne says, I haven't had women be smitten with me either, Z, but I'm on the left, so I guess I can understand that pain. Yeah, Dwayne, but if you on Z channel, Z don't spew hate about women, particularly black women, right? There's a reason why you're here and why you're not over there. I'll put it that way. One thing I gotta give FD Signifier, and he was right about this, and this is something that I said, well, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. He mentioned actually, shout out to FD for this, that he thinks that one of the reasons why my channel is so small is because I don't sound like Myron. And I gotta give it to him. I think he's right. And I'm not gonna sound like Myron. As much as Mr. Z critique black women, I don't hate black women. I don't hate women. Right? That's funny, Vince. I ain't gonna read that out loud. That's hysterical. Right? That's funny. I'm waffles, that's hysterical. I'm waffles said Myron mad he ain't get chose, but who did he not get chose by? Oh man. But yeah, Dwayne, look, yeah, I think every man needs to feel that at least once in his life. More than once, to be fair. At least once in his life. So you could see the difference between, because women get that, right? Women get that. Women get that walking out the door, including the not so attractive women. They all get that. Maybe not all, most. Um, in my estimation. I think every man needs to experience that at least a couple times in his life. So you could appreciate what it's like to actually be desired, to feel desired, right? Where it's not necessary, it's not about transactional. You're not just a status marker. She genuinely likes you, right? Notice the word I said. I didn't say love. I said she genuinely likes you. And it's really not anything that you did. You're just there, right? Now you might be physically fit, or you might have just come out the gym earlier that day. But at that current moment, it's nothing you actually did. You just exist right now. Yeah. And yeah, I think every man needs to experience that. We can't let the women have a monopoly on that. No, exactly. Wanting to be wanted is a good thing. Being wanted is a good thing. All right. All right, y'all. Look. Man, I'm about to probably get a pan to the face messing with y'all. I told Miss Z I was going to stream for. I was like, babe, I'm on my way. I'm not going to be online for too long. Nearly 2 hours later. I can only do this for so much longer, y'all. Y'all already know what the deal is. Y'all already know. The green guy says, but does every man get that? No, no, definitely not. No, and it varies from man to man. I have a brother that I know. Man, this dude, I've known him for 4 years now. Racking numbers, just racking numbers the whole time. Relationship, no relationship, don't matter. Just racking numbers, right? Just going through them. No white women on the roster. Pretty much all black women and a couple Latinas sprinkled in, but just racking, just like god damn. And we're not talking about booger wolves either, right? Different sizes, whatnot, but no oompa loompas and no booger wolves. I gotta give it to him, right? So racket. So not does every man get that? No, right? And here's the thing: I don't know if we will ever be in a place like that. I will say where we are currently is dangerous. Where we are currently, where essentially it's about the top third of women. I mean, it's about the top third of men and like nothing. Definitely about the top 20%. But if I want to be extremely generous, the top third of men and all other men could disappear. I think that's extremely dangerous, right? So yeah, Joe, because that's what a sensible adult is supposed to be. And Joe says, I don't have Myron problems, even if the chick I wanted didn't want me. Yeah, because we got to grow up and realize that just because you want her doesn't mean she owe you anything. And this is what Mr. Z says about the women all the time, right? We all got to get over them that damn childhood trauma. She didn't want me. Grow up, right? People still be holding on to the fact that you was in prom king 20 years later. Grow up. And the women definitely, well, we ain't even gonna mention the women. Yes, we are. The women definitely be holding on to the fact that it was in prom queen 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, definitely 20 and 30 years ago. Angry at the world. Huh? Yes, Joe, because we're sensible adults, right? I agree with you on this. Yeah, I don't have migrant problems. Mad at the world, mad at women because like this is the thing. What's it? And this is why we make the that's just why we distinguish and we differentiate. I can't. What is Z? What is going on with Z in the words right now? This is why we differentiate between what we saying over here and what those people over there are saying, right? And that's why I make sure to say, for the most part, black men are looking for cooperation. Even for the brothers that's using the word submit. If I let you describe that, it's gonna sound some type of simile of cooperation. The Mars of the world really mean submit. You will bow to Zod. No, they really mean that submit. Huh? Because I think they've been denied so much that now, because look at what happened with him and Homegirl. The little what was she, Latina that he was with? Like you were overly braggadocious. Yeah, it's open on my end and it's closed on her end. Look, man, look. As someone who's engaged, even if it was that, I'm not bragging about it. She knows her place, bruh. Look, y'all know how Mr. Z speak. With that, you do realize you're talking about another human being, right? You know, you're talking about another adult. Just saying, bruh. And let me keep on. Let me see. No, Saint Cyr, I've said this a while ago. I said this on the Roger Reports channel. I don't know. When we were 2025. I said this in like 2018, 2019. So yeah. Saint Cyr says, ain't that what I've been saying? Saying since I entered this space, I named it 2 years ago. I said y'all are looking for cooperation, not submission. It's too true. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I agree. Yeah, and I got some pushback when I said it too. I I I am genuinely saddened that Raj has so much good streams going back years, and like every so often. Don't worry, let me tell y'all what's gonna happen. Raj gonna catch up to me and pass me again. I'm letting y'all know that now, right? Raj got there's so many good streams that we can't find anymore. Yeah. And Dwayne says, and thank you for the super chat. I don't have Myron problems, but I kind of felt like that dude in the video where he had a nervous breakdown at work over relationships. What I would say to that, Dwayne, is appreciating that no one owes you anything. And with that, still being kind and generous to others in limitation. Um, Number one. Number two, when it comes to the relationship thing, it is a it is a sign of the times. Appreciate like some of this is personal and some of this is environmental. This environment doesn't encourage us to couple up. It encourages us to be atomized. There's something seriously toxic with our current state of affairs, right? And we've cheap. It's funny because we put a hefty price tag on relationship, but in weird ways we've cheapened it because we commodified it. And even Scott Galloway spoke of, like, and I'm gonna paraphrase, but like capitalism in relationships and what that means for relationships, right? So that's the macro. The micro is you doing as much as you can for you to be desirable to the opposite sex in a weird way without trying. What I mean by that is working on your physical appearance, working on your wardrobe, what fits you best, so that when you walk in that room, you are that guy before you really even say anything, right? So that's the micro. Before she knows what you do for a living, before she knows what school you went to, before she knows what you drive or what zip code you live in, right? So once again, the macro is this environment is crap, bro. It's I said this back when I reviewed Ostefco in the pretty privileged video years ago, right? 3-4 years ago. This environment is crap. I'll do the women a solid right now. The environment is crap right now. It's encouraging us to be atomized, which is funny because the elites are still getting married though, and largely staying married. With that, yeah, the for the rest of us, oh, it's crap. Oh, it's crap. It's complete dumpster juice. It's a dumpster fire. So once again, that's the macro. The micro is doing your part to be desirable, right? Um, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, but Myron. I mean, he's monetized it. You know, Vincent hot doo doo water. It's bad, bro. It's bad. All right, for real. All right, you guys. I'm just reading through you guys' comments. So I will pause right there. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, yeah. So we'll dumpster juicy. You hear me, Starman? Dumb, completely bad. Say that. Mr. Shook to you says we lost some true classic 7-hour streams on Roger's channel. God damn. And I'm not just talking about this previous time that he just got deleted. I'm saying years ago, since I've been knowing Roger, it's already been 3 channels. And from my understanding, he'd have lost 2 or 3 before that. So it's like, God damn, right? It had to be at least 3 channels since I've known Roger, right? So yeah, it's been a while. Okay, y'all. So we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I guess I wanted to do a little bit of old school today, and we're not gonna play any videos. And my intro was crude, and my outro gonna be crude again. And yeah. And Vince says he's on Roger Report 5. LOL. Really, if he was numbering it, it might be 6 or 7. Right? It might be 6 or 7. Right? So yeah. Vince, or not Vince. Trell says Raj on like the 4th or 5th since I've been listening. You see what I'm saying? That's yeah. So all right, y'all. We'll pause right there. Um, I did not forget about y'all. Who was it that sent that big old Honda? Was that y'all? Y'all gives you a second. Let me make sure because I should have said, I'll say it at the beginning of the next stream because I need the link to that C-SPAN that the brother sent the money for so I could review that. I'm still gonna do a part 2 to and Vince, I did get your email. Vince is on my bumper, y'all, about all the streams that I should have been working on that goes back a couple years at this point, to be honest. Um, what was I gonna say? I need the link to the C-SPAN the C-SPAN stream. So I might have to look for that, but I need a big time for that. What else did I want to bring up? There was one more thing I lost my train of thought, y'all. It's gone. It's out of there. Okay, so we'll pause right there. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, I'm still going to do. That's what I want to remember. I'm still going to do a part 2 to Coach Greg's Adams stream that I covered the other night. Because yeah, I definitely got to go into detail about that. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams for that. Because Mr. Z been saying it, marriage is going to become for the elite, and you know there are a bunch of people kind of minimizing that and be like, well, that's how it used to be, and you know, and it's not that serious. And I'm like, I really think people really don't appreciate what the society that we're living in was built off of. The cornerstones, the yeah, the pillars that hold up your society. I don't know if you can maintain this when only 20 some odd percent of your folks are getting married, and or a third are getting married, and maybe 20 or so are the ones who's are really holding it down and staying married, and it's all the people at the top of the pyramid scheme. Maybe not. I don't see it. Right. So yeah. On that note, y'all, we'll pause right there. Truly, y'all have a great rest of your night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and Mr. Z out. All right, y'all.